Hey guys, I'm Bill, and today I'm going to talk about relational and logical operators. In the last tutorial, we talked about if statements, how to use it, and an operator that compares two things and check if it's equal. It uses two equals. In this tutorial, I want to talk about more operators. But before we start, I want to explore the question, why do equals operators use two equal signs rather than one? The reason why is because in Java, one equal sign just means you want to assign something, assign a value to something. But we want to compare stuff. We want to compare if these two are equal. And we want to tell it to Java using two equal signs. Let's get started. The first one I want to talk about is doesn't equal. This operator compares two stuff and checks if it's not equal. If it's not equal, it gives you a true. If it is equal, it gives you a false. We can take out all of these here. We don't need them. If we run it, because movie score is 7 and it doesn't equal 0, it should print, let's change the text to movie score is great. It should print out movie score is great. Yes, and it printed it out. That is because Java saw this and say, hey, movie score is 7 and it's not equal to 0. I'm gonna print out movie score is great. That is thinking behind Java's running software. The next one I want to talk about is bigger than, greater than operator. This operator checks if the first input you give it is greater than the second input. In this case, because movie score is 7 and 7 is greater than 0, it should show the message. Yes, and it shows the message. If we change the movie score to -1, it won't show the message because movie score is now smaller than -1. The opposite of this is a smaller than operator. This is completely the opposite. It checks if movie score, the first input, is smaller than the second input. And it shows movie score is great, and that's correct. If we change this back to 7, it will show nothing because 7 is now greater than 0. This operator is called greater than or equal to. It checks if the first input that you give it is greater than or equal to the second input. It's really like math. In this case, it will show the message, and it does. If we change this to 0, it should also show the message. And it does. The opposite of this operator is the smaller than or equal to operator. If we run this now, it should also show the message because it's still equal to 0. But if we change this to -4, and it will also show the message. If we change this to 3, it shouldn't show the message. It doesn't. Great. We've gone through all the relational operators. Now let's dig into logical operators. To use logical operators, we can set two standards. I'm gonna add another movie score for a new movie score 2, and I'm gonna set it to 3. You can have multiple checks in an if statement too. I'm going to check for movie score is greater than 3. Maybe 5. And I also check for movie score 2 and check if it's greater than 5. Now Java is outputting an error because we haven't added any operators yet. We need to add some logical operators so that it will recognize what you're trying to compare. If I want to test if both of these are true, I can use the AND operator. The AND operator checks if both of its inputs are true. If they are, it will also output true. Other than that, it will always output false. If I run this now, it shouldn't show anything because movie score and movie score 2 are both smaller than 5. If we change this to 7, if we change the first movie score to 7, it will also not show anything because it's AND. It checks for both of it. If we change the second one also to a number above 5, then it should show a message. And it does. Great. The next operator is OR operator. The OR operator checks for all of its inputs, and if at least one of it is true, it will also output true. In this case, it will definitely output true, and the message has been displayed. But if we change both of these to a number below 5, it will show nothing. And if we change one of it, only one of it, to above 5, then it will show the message. The last one, single operator that I want to talk about is the NOT operator. To use the NOT operator, you put it right before what you want to use the operator to do. The NOT operator just flips anything that you give it. If you give it a true, it flips it and you get a false from it. If you give it a false, then it will flip it and it will output a true. If these two are currently gonna output true because one of it is true, and it will just flip it and the output will become false, so it won't show any message. It won't show any message. If we change the number, the score 1 to 3, then it will show the message because both of it is false, and the OR operator will output a false, and the NOT operator will show a true because it flipped it. Let's run it, and it shows a message. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to check out my website www.whatsyouridea.com, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.